Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. So today we're going to have a look at Parisienne Walkways by Gary Moore. So I've just got a little bit of waffling and prefacing to do, so that's what we're going to have a look at today. That's the whole intro. Now I was umming and ahhing as to which version to go off for this, but I've decided on the original single. I will put a clip in, I'll put a link in the video description for the version that I've gone off, because there's a couple of really famous ones like Montreux Jazz Festival, and I think he did one in Paris in 1993. I couldn't decide which one. They're all ever so slightly different, so I've just decided to go for the original one that everyone will have heard back in the day. So use that for your reference, because there's a couple of licks in here that if you're not sure exactly what they're supposed to sound like, you've got that for your reference. I've also decided to put that bit in as well, just because I think it's fun, why not? I'm using the Les Paul today with the neck pickup. I've got the volume on 10 into a sort of kind of Marshall-y crank kind of sound. I've got some amp settings that I'll show you in a second. And I've got the volume on 10 and the tone to about 3, because this one in particular is quite dark. But salt and pepper to taste, guys, okay? So going back to that, I'm playing the 7 with the ring finger, the 2 with the index finger, and then the 3 with the middle finger. And can you hear how I'm putting vibrato on all of those? Then there's the money shot. Okay, so we're going to bend the 15th fret on the B string with the ring finger, and helping it up is going to be the second finger behind it as well. And can you see the little wiggly line on the top? Whenever you've got more than a beat or more that you're hanging on a note, give it as much vibrato as you can, okay? Then we've got a rest followed by 15. And then we're going to go to 13 on the beat and pull off to the 12. And again, see how I'm hanging on that 12. We've got another quaver rest, and then we're going to pull off from 14 to 12. And I'm using my ring finger and pulling off to my index. Now, can you see how I pulled off from the 14 to the 12, and then without picking that note again, I'm sliding down to the 10. Lots of muting with both hands going on to stop unwanted string noise, okay? To finish that off, index finger on the 12, on that E. And then what's unusual about this and what I like about this piece, he uses his second finger to bend that 13. So you're bending, that's a C note, and you're bending it all the way up to a D. And it's quite hard to do vibrato with a bent note as it is, never mind with the second finger, so it's a really good exercise. So the whole thing. Pause the video if you need to. I've broken this into 5 distinct chunks, so this is chunk number 1. Following on from that, this is lick number 2. So we've just bent that note, and then we're going to do it another time as we enter that bar. And then followed by a 13 by itself. So bend the 13, bring it back down and pick it again. Now you're going to slide into the 12, and this is where I think students get confused with this tab. You're going to slide into the 12, but you're going to slide from below, not above. Now, reading that tab, how it looks like is, starting from the very beginning, you're going to bend the 13, play the 13 by itself, and then you're going to slide the 13 into the 12. That's not the case because of the direction of the line, okay? The line that the slide is, the way that the slide, that line's going, indicates that you're sliding from down here up here. So on that, when you're not given a note to slide from, always assume it's 2 frets. So you've got 13 with the bent note, 13 by itself, And then what we're going to do, we're going to do a position shift, and we're going to go from the 10th fret of the B string with the ring finger and slide into that 12. Yeah? Now, some people will put a teeny tiny 10 to slide into that. I don't like that because it indicates that you're hanging on that 10. That 10's relevant. It isn't. You could slide from anywhere. You see how I slid from all the way down here? Doesn't really matter as long as you're sliding from a lower note into that 12 with the ring finger. Okay? So just to reiterate, bend. And that I like doing that with the ring finger, sliding into that 12, because then you're going to pull off to the 10th fret of the B string. Then we're going to go 12 on the G and 12 on the D, and we're going to do that with the ring finger. We're going to rock that backwards and forwards. And then we'll do a position shift up to the 12th position, and we're going to pick the 14 with the ring finger, slide it down to the 12, and then slide it back. 10th fret on the high E with the index finger. And then we're going to, you see how there's another slide into that 13th fret, so we're going to go from 11, 10 or 11, it doesn't matter where because you're not hanging about on it. So after you've played that 10, let me play that whole thing for you. Now would be a good time to pause if you need to. And again, that last note, you're hanging on it for a significant amount of time, so don't forget to give it some welly. And you see how I'm muting with my right hand, with my picking hand. I'm touching all of the strings. I'm touching the E, A, D, and G string to stop everything from vibrating. Okay? Right. Again, now would be a really good time to pause. If not, we'll go in here. So we're going to slide. Again, slide from the 11. Now I'd probably actually do this with my second finger, just because of where we're going later in the phrase. Slide from 11 into 13 to begin. Index finger on the index finger on the 12. And then I'm going to slide into the 14 with the ring finger. Following that, 12 with the index. Now what's interesting here, you've got this almost like little harmonic, I think it's harmonic minor. It's either harmonic minor or Aeolian note there. In fact, it's Aeolian, it's D minor scale, isn't it? I'm playing that 10 with my middle finger. I'm then pulling off to the 9. And then I'm going to play the root note on the 12th fret of the D string with my pinky. It's the only time I'm going to use my pinky in the whole piece. And then we're going to slide into the 13 and then finish on the 12. Again, I once heard B.B. King describe these vibrato as like if you grab a doorknob and unlock and turn it clockwise to open the door. That's what I'm doing there. Can you see how my wrist is up and down? Right. Okay, now would be a good time to pause again. If not, home stretch, guys. Then we have got the 14. Now, again, I'm thinking E minor pentatonic there, and we're not. We're in D, aren't we? So I'm going to use my middle finger to pick that 14. Then I'm bringing it down and picking it again. Then I've got 13 on the G with the index finger. And then I'm going to hit 15 on the D string with the ring finger. And then to finish it off, we've got... Now, it looks like a hammer-on. You can either do this. To my ear, I think he's sliding backwards and forwards. Like that. Slide, pick the 12, slide up to the 14, and then back to the 12 in one motion. Yeah, you see how I'm not picking that? And then we're going to go down to that C note there. Whole thing. Yeah, he says. And if you're feeling really keen, now would be a good time to stop if you want to get that under your fingers. But if not, if you're feeling really keen, you could then bolt that back on, and that's where, if you're doing your job right, that's where Gary will start singing. Okay? So like I've said, I'm personally using like a Marshall kind of setting. Let me show you this. So that's the Boss Katana Artist Mark II, I think. I've got it set on the lead channel, but I've got the gain at 12 o'clock. I've got the EQ set pretty flat apart from the treble. I've mentioned before, this guitar in particular is a very dark guitar. I've always got to compensate with treble. If I was to plug my SG in now, it'd sound really, 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 really harsh. So it's just the nature of these, I think the Tim Shaw pickups in this guitar, they're renowned for being quite dark sounding. Plenty of reverb, and I think a lot of this is to do, I'll tell you what, I'll just put that on so you can be plumbing through that while I'm waffling. I think a lot of Gary Moore's sound is the sheer attack that he plays the guitar with. So if I just go to this for a second, like, if I tickle it, what I think resonates with a lot of people with Parisienne Walkways is he's proper giving it some stick, and it's you can hear almost like, for lack of a better term, and as cheesy as it sounds, you can almost hear the passion in him playing it. Does that make sense? It's not... It's really... Sorry. You know, and it's almost a bit scruffy, but controlled scruffiness. Does that make sense? So let me know what you'd like me to cover next. We're getting some really great responses with these videos. I'm really, really pleased that they're helping you out. If you've got any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. If not, I'll see you next week. Cheers.